I saw myself, my husband and I, and all of my peers were making huge financial decisions all the time. And we don't really have the guidance. And our parents' model wasn't always the best model that we should be using. And that could be based on, first off, who you're choosing to spend your life with, but also career decisions and financial transactions. And if you should take a step back from your career, now we need life insurance all of a sudden because we have a house and a kid. What does that really look like for the average person that was going through the life phases that I was going through? And so I said, okay, I'm going to take all this knowledge that I've attained and apply it, but I'm going to target a different audience. And so I call that segment Henry's. Are you familiar with that acronym? Have you heard of that one yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So high earning, not rich yet. Most of my clients, when we first start working together, we create a financial plan up front. And then once we develop that plan, and it takes a few months, it's usually like 3 to 4 meetings, then we start working on implementation. And a lot of my investment recommendations don't really start coming until we're more in that implementation phase, because it's harder to gauge how we should be progressing with our investments and what we are targeting without really understanding all the other aspects of where their financial needs are and what their financial goals are. So it's definitely a little bit, because traditionally investment advice was the first thing we would talk about, and everything else was subsidiary. And now I engage first on the actual financial plan, looking at everything from debt and taxes, insurance, cash flow needs, short-term goals, long-term goals, and retirement choices before I will look at actually investments. I think the industry is trending into the planning direction. I think even like best interest and things like that are all pushing us to continue to pursue a lot more interactive planning. I would love to see a lot more sort of boutique concierge planning options for people to get the more, because we can make recommendations on numbers and analytics all the time, but I do think that to really drive the behavioral change, having a little bit more of that go to deeper relationship does make sense over time. And I think folks need that. I think we need increased financial literacy, which is a big part of what I do with my clients as well. Don't be afraid of tears. It means you're getting somewhere. I've had another colleague of mine where he's like, they started getting upset and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, that means you're actually doing something and you're making an impact. So that's sort of one thing, even though it's anecdotal. And then the other thing is talking about money shouldn't be, I guess, I would love for people to encourage conversations about money and financial transparency, not telling your neighbor exactly how much you make and things like that, but just to really be open to sharing about things that people are experiencing, so that when you take away sort of the stigma around money, I think we all can learn and share and do so much more.